piano community, music lovers, and anyone else who just happened to stumble upon this video. Welcome to Tone and Grooves. My name is Jeff, and I'll be your host throughout this video. Thanks for watching. So glad that you decided to tune in. This is going to be a little bit different video than what I have done in the past, on a little bit different subject that I honestly don't see too much of in the VC. Focusing on the value, quote unquote, of records. I've been entering my collection into Discogs and beginning to track it. Not track it like I'm following the value. I don't mean that, but just keeping track of what I have using the that kind of like database function in Discogs, so that I don't buy records that I already have when I'm out digging in the crates. So I've been doing that, entering in my entire collection, and just having some fun here recently with you can reorganize your collection based on title or artist or value, from minimum to median to like maximum value. And so I've been playing around with that recently, and was just kind of looking at some of those, the ranking, if you will, of my records according to value, and was really kind of surprised, shocked even in some cases, the apparent value of some of the records in my collection. So hence the title of the video, Surprisingly Valuable Vinyl Treasures That Have Been Lurking in My Shelves and I Wasn't Even Aware of It. So I'm going to share some of those, and got some questions at the end. Would love to generate some conversation and have some of you all chime in with your thoughts, your own experiences, whatnot, but we'll get to that. Anyway, without further ado, let's dive into these. The first few are going to be from the top 5 most valuable records in my collection, apparently, according to Discogs, and then have a few that were much further on down the list, but to me was like very surprising that these are going for as much as they are, because to me they're kind of common records, but apparently are valuable. So anyway, let's dive into this. So what's playing right now, hopefully you can hear that little bit. It's a really fun album. This was the 5th most valuable record apparently in my collection. This is Waylon Time and his Boogie Woogie Boys. It's called 8 to the Bar. It's on United Artists Records. I'm guessing from the late 50s, maybe early 60s. It's a mono copy. It's kind of jazzy, ragtimey, boogie woogie piano. Really fun. I mean, a really great album. It's got a fantastic kind of cheesecake cover there, which is probably part of the reason why I picked it up. I also just kind of dig ragtime, music. So yeah, this is really cool. Waylon Time and his Boogie Woogie Boys, 8 to the Bar, Boogie Woogie Piano. Really nice album. This was, let's see, recently sold on Discogs. I think it was late 2017. 1 copy sold in the last, in the history of Discogs apparently, for $60. 60 bucks in near mint condition apparently. Currently copies listed, just a few copies. I think it was only 3. No, maybe it's more than that. That's not important. Whatever. Anyway, from $7 to $70. Very good to near mint. My copy is not near mint. I mean, the jacket's in, I don't know, very good plus maybe. It's got a little bit of a ring wear there. The vinyl looks like very good condition. It sounds great on the turntable, but anyway. So I was really kind of surprised by that. 60 bucks actually sold in near mint condition. I don't know. So kind of surprised by that. Fun record. That's Waylon Time and his Boogie Woogie Boys, 8 to the Bar. Next up, well, I think the next album actually in the top 5 I'm not going to show. I've shown it in previous videos. It was the David Bowie, Rise and Fall of Ziggy Stardust and the Spiders from Mars. On that, I forget the Rhino kind of reissue on the clear vinyl. They call it the Coke bottle pressing. And I knew that was, that's like an $80 record, and I knew that because I paid 80 bucks for it. Probably the most maybe the most, not quite the most that I've ever paid for a record, but bought that on my honeymoon at Amoeba Records when my wife and I were on our honeymoon in California. Picked it up. So I knew that. I mean, I knew that because that's like what I paid for it. So I'm skipping that one and go to this one, which I also kind of knew, but was really kind of surprised at kind of the range of value on this record and the different kind of permutations that people are willing to buy this record in, or conditions, I guess you say, not permutations. The different, oh my gosh, the different conditions, the states of condition that people are willing to buy this in. Anyway, oh, man, I am rambly. I apologize. Anyway, let's get on to this. This is John Lennon, Yoko Ono, The Wedding Album. This one, I bought this back in the 90s. I think I paid $100 for it. It is a complete set. It's got the box. It's got some tears in some of the corners. Not all of them. Just one, it looks like. So that's kind of nice. I mean, it's complete. There's the wedding, copy of the wedding certificate. It's got all the inserts. I don't know if any of you guys are, I'm sure this is not, you know, there's the sleeve, it's a gatefold, you got, whoop, let's go this way, pictures of the bed end, and of course, you know, it's got all these little doodads, which I don't know that it's got like a, what is this? Oh, there's a poster that comes out looking like that, there's like a little booklet, with a bunch of like press clippings and whatnot. There's a piece of the wedding cake that's in here somewhere. Here we go. It's got the bag that says Bagism, and inside the bag is pictures of John and Yoko. A postcard. Whoop, let's bring it back here so it's in focus. And a piece of wedding cake. So anyway, all the inserts are in there. My record's in probably, you know, I would say strong, very good, maybe very good plus condition. That historically, apparently at Discogs, has sold from anywhere from $5 to $710. And interesting enough, that $5 record and the $710 record sold recently. The $5 was in good plus condition, no box, and that was $5. And the $710 record also sold here just this past year. In early 2018, so $710. That copy was sealed, so that's interesting. And it's, I guess what's interesting to me is that wedding album it sells in all kinds of different conditions, from, you know, kind of from very cheap, $5, $10, $15, like without the box and without the inserts and whatnot, all the way up to, you know, obviously $710 sealed, but, you know, with the box and all the inserts around $75 to $100. So, which I think is what I paid for that back in the 90s. My memory is that I might have paid $100 for that. I honestly don't remember. That's been a long time ago. But anyway, not a huge surprise there because, you know, I knew what I paid for mine, and that's kind of what I was expecting that to be. So that's John and Yoko, the wedding album. So then next up, so this would be the second most valuable record apparently in my collection, and this is, it's in just a generic 12-inch single sleeve, so I'll show the label. This is Prince Sexy Dancer. This is a UK pressing with the long version of Sexy Dancer. It's like 20-30 minutes or something like that. So, and then that's on side one, and then you got, so there's that, and then you got Bambi on the flip. So this apparently, according to Discogs, goes for, or has sold for, anywhere from $33 to $117, with a median price of $71. Currently there's a couple of copies up for sale from 59 euros, or about $68 in very good condition, to 100 euros, or about $116 in near mint condition. Just looking at mine, it is not in near mint condition. Mine, I would say, is in very good condition. It definitely has some scuffs and some light surface scratches, so very good condition maybe. So I don't know, what does that make that? Doesn't, whatever, I don't know, 59 euro, maybe a $60 record. Interesting. I don't think I definitely did not pay that much for it. The value has certainly gone up since Prince's death. I think I paid $30 for that maybe back in around 2002, something like that. So I don't know, interesting. With Prince's death, I guess a lot of his records have gone up. Actually, I have another Prince record coming up here that I was very surprised by the value on. So let's see what's next. All right, so apparently, according to Discogs, this is the most valuable record in my collection, and I was totally blown away by this, completely shocked. Because I got this at a Books A Million locally here in the Eau Claire, Wisconsin area. I think I want to say I paid $20, $19.99 for this, I think, if my memory serves me correctly. This is Blue October Sway, and it's a gatefold. Whoop, I keep going the wrong way. Gatefold, just a plain back. It is it's a double album on white vinyl. And this, historically on Discogs, has gone for anywhere from $40 to $225 with a median price of $107. Currently only one copy being available on Discogs, and they are asking $208. And that is they describe it as mint, near mint, open but never played. So $200. I was really blown away by that. Like I said, I think I paid $20 for this. Blue October Sway. Great album, but really very shocking to me that $200 is being asked for that. So I don't know. I was really kind of blown away by that. Very surprised by that. These next few were, like I said, well, the one is not so common. Let's get that one out of the way. This one is, that's that other Prince single. It's a Prince Pop Life extended version. This is a UK pressing. It's like an alternate version. You know, there was a US Prince 12-inch single of Pop Life with a remix. That's certainly much more common. This is the UK version. It's on the nice Paisley Park label there. And apparently this, historically, $22 to $57 with a median price of $37. Currently being offered from $25 to $60. And that was the dollar price. It's selling in euros, obviously, because it's a UK pressing, and most of those sellers were all in Europe. So Prince Pop Life extended version. A little bit surprising on that. I mean, given that it's the UK pressing and it is an alternate version, it's a little more rare. But these next few were completely surprising to me. I mean, actually, like, blew me away, because in my mind they're just much more common records. So I was extremely surprised to see some of the values of these on Discogs. So up first is George Michael, Keeping the Faith, or just Faith. George Michael, Faith. You know, I don't know, I didn't, like, nothing super special about this. US pressing, it does have the inner sleeve, which is this kind of has a picture on one side, plain with this kind of, weird, I don't know, what is that, symbols on the bottom. It's got the lyrics insert with a poster, quote unquote, on one side. It's just on, Columbia. Nothing special. historically has sold for from $5 to $29 with a median price of $22. Currently selling from anywhere from $9 in good plus condition to $125 in near mint. With, you know, I just kind of looked at, I mean, what's the average kind of in the middle going for $25 to $30. $25 to $30. I mean, I don't know. It's George Michael. It's George Michael Faith. I mean, I was really just kind of blown away by that. So, a surprise, valuable record lurking in the collection. This one also surprised me. This is Police Synchronicity. This is the brown translucent vinyl copy. And that, historically, has sold for $10 to $45 with a median price of $35. Currently being offered anywhere from $15 to $90. That just really kind of blew me away. I mean, Police Synchronicity. I mean, unless there's something that I'm like not getting here, but I don't know. It's Police Synchronicity. I think I paid $1 for this at Half Price Books or something, you know. So I mean, completely blew me away. Very surprising to see that selling for that much. And then last, this is Talking Heads. What's the album here? What is this? Speak in Tongues. Talking Heads. I mean, it's got Burning Down the House, which is that classic song from the 80s. This has apparently, historically, sold on Discogs for $14 to $46 with a median price of $20. Currently being offered anywhere from $6 in fair condition to $60, still sealed, with a kind of a median, more average price of surprisingly $35 to $40. And that just really blew me away. You know, Talking Heads, $35 to $40, really? I don't know. Anyway, I thought this was kind of fun. It was interesting to see what some of these things are selling for. You know, and I guess for me, here's like the discussion part, right? I mean, the reaction. I mean, very surprising to me. Part of me is like, you know, who cares? You know, when I'm hunting for records, I'm not out looking for rare, expensive, you know, valuable records. It's just not what I'm looking for. So in a way, you know, value doesn't really matter to me. I'm looking for things that that I will like. I'm looking for music that I know I enjoy. So I'm always kind of keeping my eye out, you know, for things that I've seen on Discogs, or I've seen in the VC, or I've just kind of, you know, just kind of been on my radar for a while. Looking for things like that. I'm looking for surprises, you know, kind of blind buys, things that look interesting, that look fun, that are kind of weird or you know, a little crazy, that just kind of strike me. I'm like, I just have to hear that record and know what that sounds like. I mean, that's kind of what I'm looking for, and I'm very much a budget shopper. So I mean, you guys know, I mean, my vinyl finds are coming from thrift stores, junk shops, you know, the dollar bins at record stores. I mean, the 50 cent, the dollar bins, I mean, that's where I'm digging, that's where I'm hunting, and that to me is like a lot of the excitement, to find things that a lot of times it's blind buys, things that I'm not aware of, things that I don't know about but are intriguing, and for, you know, cheap like that, $1, maybe $2, I can pick those up. You know, or yeah, I mean, sometimes I know something has some value. I mean, you know, when I found some Johnny Cash here recently, that I know Johnny Cash is like, you know, I mean, not big money, not hundreds of dollars, but, you know, 10, 20, maybe $30 for some of those Johnny Cash records, and to find those for $1 or $2, that's an exciting find. So, I mean, I do, there is some of that value, I guess, does come into play sometimes, especially when you find something that it has some value that you can get for cheap. But that's not really, I'm not out there looking for valuable records. Like, that's not at the forefront. For me, it's just about finding things that I have been looking for, that I know about, and kind of, are on my radar, so to speak. But so much, it's more about, oftentimes, like, finding things that I don't know about, that, I can pick up for cheap and, like, give it a whirl and see what that's like, and try that out. So anyway, I'm just curious. Would love to have some conversation and hear your feedback, have you chime in. I'm very curious to know where others in the VC are at. Where does value come into play for you as you hunt, as you collect? Is value important? Is that more at the forefront? Are you looking for valuable records? Are you striving to add valuable records to your collection? I mean, is that the thing for you, or are you more like me? Are you like more of a budget collector? Value isn't so important, or maybe value isn't even something that you think about. Where are you in that continuum? Are you far to one extreme? Or are you kind of in the middle? I'd be very curious to know that about you all on the VC. Or, I mean, is value something that you even are aware of? I mean, maybe is it something that you even think about or have even looked into? I mean, do you even know what your records are worth, quote unquote? That would be interesting to know. And do you feel that temptation too when you know that you have something that is valuable, $100, $200 record? Do you feel the temptation to list that and sell that, rechannel those funds, to sell a Blue October record for that's apparently worth $100 to $200? I mean, that's a lot to me. I very rarely would plunk $100 or $200 down on one record. I mean, I think I've probably done that twice in my lifetime, and definitely never over 100. So it's awfully tempting, I mean, in my head, I think, wow, $100 record, I could sell that and get 100 records with that $100. I mean, with my budget way of shopping, I can do that. And so that's a tempting thing. I'm curious, do you feel that temptation to sell records off from your collection and rechannel those funds? Those are things that, I think that would be an interesting conversation. Would love to hear you chime in and get your perspective and your thoughts on that. And of course, it also opens up a whole another question that it just now occurred to me of, I mean, value alone. I mean, sometimes, things are, especially in guidebooks, record collectors' guidebooks. I mean, I just recently picked up a copy of the Gold Mine, what Collector's Guide to Jazz Records. And flipping through there, I mean, oh my gosh, some of the values that are placed on records is like, are you kidding me? I mean, it literally seems like a joke. I mean, I remember thinking, I'm looking through there and, George Shearing records, for example, that I've picked up for, literally 50 cents and $1 in really nice condition, listed in there for, $100 or more. I mean, some of the values that are oftentimes placed on records, especially in guidebooks, price guides like that, seem so far out of whack. I mean, completely out of reality. So, I mean, there's just the whole issue of just trying to attach value to records to begin with, that seems oftentimes very subjective and sometimes just completely out of, like I say, just completely out of reality. So how do you feel about that? I mean, like I said, I mean, value is just not something that I really think about very much. And I guess that's why maybe this is so surprising to go in and see, that some of these albums do sell, apparently, on places like Discogs for what I would consider big money. Anyway, I've rambled enough, man. If you have stuck with me this long, kudos to you. You get a gold star. Fantastic. Thank you so much for watching. Really hope you'll chime in. Looking forward to some conversation on this topic. And thank you so much for watching. Thanks for subscribing. Thanks for your comments. And until next time, stay in the groove.